these days. And it's coming back to all of these things that we're having. So we look at quantum computing, all of these full stack development, there's nothing, there's no technology you will think about today that doesn't have sort of coding into it. None. There is nothing you think about today that maybe somebody did not have a pre-code to it or have somewhere that is being integrated it. And look at the Internet of Behavior. You use data to predict human behavior. So looking at your phone, I can dictate where you've gone in the past 1 month. And I can also use that to scale up where you can be in the next 2 months because it shows me a history. That does not mean you turn up your phone locations because it gives us. So how do you think you're able to see traffic on the road when you're driving? Because imagine 50 phones being in this room and we are all moving on a straight line. What you keep seeing is that there's a conjunction of people in that particular place at that particular time. So that red indication you see is because a collective of people using smartphone are in that particular location at that time. So it means there are conjunctions. That's why you see that red line when you're looking at your route. And when you see the green one, that means we are 52, but all of us are moving at a very fast pace. Nobody is in one position at a time. So this is what technology have done around us. And I can print something, I can print my hand and you feel it, which is what 3D printing has already done for us. So look at what is on the screen and ask yourself, what can you do today to better the world around us? What can you do today to contribute to the growth of technology around us? And my little story, this has been a very iconic story for me. Avatar, The Way of Water, was written and produced by James Cameron. No, it was written in 1994, produced around 2009. That's 15 years gap. When James Cameron wrote Avatar, The Way of Water, he had a vision. He had something. He had an idea. There's a way he wanted to present that story. But there was no technology at the time to do it. He shelved it. And he went on and did other blockbuster documentaries and movies. He did Titanic, he did Terminator and the likes. And he has gone to produce documentaries like The Ghost of Abyss. And he didn't give up on that. He just shelved it. Around 2000, when technology were beginning to emanate, he did something. He spoke to some biologists that are talented or specializing in plants and underwater because he loved the ocean. And he wanted to be so conversant with it and present that his dream, bring it to life. He took it upon himself to start developing the programs that will generate the character of the avatars, all the characters you've seen in Avatar. That shoot started, they did the physical shooting in 2007, and the other ones took about 2 years. And in 2009, it came to life, 15 years. It took him roughly 15 years to bring that idea to life. So imagine what our world is doing today. His love for the ocean propagated him to do that. And he looked at it. Look at what Avatar is doing in the market, 1.7 billion at the global box office. That movie, he was given a budget of 237 million US dollars to shoot it. And the marketing was roughly about 157 million for marketing alone of Avatar, The Way of Water. And today, Avatar is doing about 1.7 billion in the market. Good investment, right? Good investment. Now, this is not the end. There's still more of Avatar franchise that are coming to the game, and a lot will be released. I think there are about 3 more that are being released. This overtook Avengers, the Endgame. Avengers was about 1.5 billion US dollars. And look at what he spent and look at what the movie is doing in the market. Very fantastic stuff. So what are you having in your mind today? And what can you do Readily, they may be technologies for you to use and do those things, or they may not. That is where synergy, recognizing teamwork, recognizing organization that you can work with to bet such ideas and bring them into life comes into fusion. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, very wonderful thing. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but do you have the mind? The art of starting a business with the intention of turning a profit. Entrepreneurship. Everybody wants to get into it, but nobody wants to take the risk. The art of transforming the world by solving large-scale problems. Just like, Go My Code, they are here solving a problem. There are a lot of ventures that Iridium Space must have built over the years. They are solving a problem. So that's entrepreneurship. And you're looking at it, it's an opportunity for everybody. For you to bet your idea, spread it across board. Is you trying to be and running entrepreneurship already. But then, there's a key factor in entrepreneurship, which is what? The entrepreneur, which is you, which is me, which could be any other person, that wants to venture into something. So basically, entrepreneur is referring to individual who creates a business with the goal of turning profit. See, no matter what the business is, everybody and anybody wants to make profit out of it. Even if it's just the woman by the roadside selling something, there's what you call cost of production, cost of operation, and also the money you're making at the end of the day. I'm trying to be fast. So there are four types of entrepreneurship, which is what the small business, like I just said, the market woman trying to make a daily living. She is there because she's making profit at the end of the day. And the scalable startup, which are what you and I know basically for, there are people that go, they have an idea, they blow it up, now start looking for funding in order to excel and scale up on the product they are offering. Then there's large company. Large company are like the ones we know, like the likes of Cadbury and all of that, like the Microsoft and the rest. And there are social entrepreneurship, which is the work that the NGOs are doing. Everybody, so long as you're servicing a problem, there's something you're solving. That means you find yourself into one or two of these types of entrepreneurship. What characters make someone an entrepreneur? They are not afraid of failures. Yes, I have a business that folded up because of not being able to understand the terrain I was playing in. I have business that I didn't know how to pay salary. I struggled. And then I just called everybody one day and said, guys, I can't scan again. Let's just go. And they were all offering how to help, but in my head, I know that, see, it wasn't going anywhere. This thing cannot just work. Let me just carry my kaya jejely and go back to paid employment. When my mind still wasn't there, it's not something, failure is part of the journey. Failure is part of the story. There are days you may not even feel yourself. There are days you'll be cranky. There are days you don't want to take any rubbish from anybody. So that's why most entrepreneurs, if you don't understand corporate environment, if you don't understand how to treat people, we end up making that mistakes that can also, even when we have all the ideas, we can lead us to fold in our company. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers and change makers. There's a problem you want to solve. That's why your idea better and is in the market. Entrepreneurs are innovative. Every idea, any change you're thinking in your head, they must pass through that corridor of being innovative in what you do. And entrepreneurs adapt and evolve. The system may not be right for you. The environment may not be good for you to even do business. But your ability to adapt, your ability to, in quotes, cut your coats according to your body size is what will keep you in the business. So all of these things can show. There are many more of them, but I have to limit it to these four. And which brings me to talk about my company, Clarity Partners. What do we just do? What you're just seeing, we do ideas, and we do people, and we do performance. Ideas because we believe that everything coming out of any human being can be transcribed and can be transformed into a product, and it will keep going on and on. And we believe that people drive ideas. We believe that ideas are not just meant for people. People use them, and that's why you can say they are good or they are not good. And performance is, how is these people using this product? Who are they? How are they keying into it? Your ability to analyze this performance is what keeps you in the game. The ability to analyze it is what, you know, keep telling you if whether you should make improvements or you should adjust a little things. And that's why when you look at oftentimes you get prompts to update some applications on your phone. People sat down somewhere and look at, there are things that are functioning and there are things that are not functioning. So which means let's upgrade it to meet daily demands. So when you get all those things, it's good to update, because some of them are treating boards. Some of them are bringing in board things that we are not working. Like, I think 2 months ago, I was working on my laptop and he decided to have a mind of his own, started updating. He updated, most of all that use HP could find out that 2 months ago, the Bluetooth, there was an update HP brought up, Bluetooth stopped working. And because of feedback they got immediately, they were able to fix that in 1 week. So 1 week again, they rolled out another update, and that Bluetooth issue was fixed. So this is interactions, and this is what performances does. Are you looking at your performance as human-based or product-based? Whichever way you're looking at it is quite important, and it's quite important that you look at it from any of these bases, because this is what will give you when to do updates and when not to do updates. So a few advice from me, for every entrepreneur in this room, for everybody going to be an entrepreneur, for some of us that have side businesses, if you can, go for funding. Get it. It's very wonderful. In short, I think when you're sourcing for funding and you get it, the first few nights you start thinking, imagine getting $300 because $300,000 because you pitched your idea to some VCs and gave you. You sleep well that night and wake up the following day and think about what to do with your money. Even if it's $13,000 that you got, you know, it does something. But when you do that, don't think you've blown. Yes. When you do that, don't think it's the time to start buying 2022 Land Cruiser. When you do that, don't think it's the time to move from Bagada to Lekki Phase 1. When you do that, don't think it's the time to start entering first class, because these are people who had earned money, they've vested on you. What you need to do is what? Make sure you're able to produce triple of that money, because somebody just landed you on an helipad. All you just need to do is take off. I still know some good company owners that today, they refuse to buy a car, as difficult as it is. And when you do that, when you get that funding, please treat your staff well. I will say it again. When you get that funding, treat your staff well. There's something wonderful about the human mind. You just start telling you, okay, let me start. Why should I even give them an increase? But remember, these people, the meetings you've had with them, the thoughts you've had with the interactions with them is what has helped you pitch this product very well. And when you do this, remember that because you're working in one-room apartment does not mean you should go rent a 3,000 square meters somewhere in VI. Learn how to use your money judiciously. And look for companies that can help you get this funding as matter as it is, and keep improving. Don't stop. Don't think because you've gained this money does not mean you should stop doing what you ought to do. Because of what? If we must push our economy further, it is on record that as of 2020, the number of entrepreneurs in the world is about 580,000 million. Imagine what has happened between 2020 and 2023. If you want to see yourself in that number, please try as much as it is to spend judicially the money you've been given. And having said that, I just want to say the sky is big for every one of us. I have a wonderful idea. Please look for synergy and where to put it. Dalo, thank you very much.
Please, let's give him a round of applause. Come on. No, like I said to us the other time, it's not the problem of Nigeria. So please, one more time, give him a very big round of applause. Thank you. So before we go to the next, I just want to ask, how many of us have seen Avatar? Let me see, Anna. You have seen Avatar. You talked about Avatar. Wow. So we have not seen. How many of us see movies? We watch film. And we have not seen Avatar. Wow. Maybe it's Jagun Jagun. You people used to watch. What's Ijakumoba? I mean, they are good films. Please, so they are good films. You can watch them. It's fine. But please, okay. Before we greet people and then we change, I want to invite Terminal Africa. They're going to be talking with us for a few minutes, and they'll be talking to us about their company. So please, with a very big round of applause, please let's welcome Busala from Terminal Africa. Just for a few minutes.
Good afternoon, guys. So I'm going to be very brief. Just going to be talking about Terminal. What's that? Okay. I need to hold this. Okay. So Terminal is a software company that makes it easier for Africans to ship and receive goods and products globally. So basically, we are a digital platform that we're a digital network of the best and local international logistics platform built to work for African business. So Terminal Africa is a delivery aggregator that partners with multiple couriers, allowing you easily to access them online. So let me put it like this so it's easier for you guys. Let's put like boats, where you have like different rides. You see boats, I think for food, and you can also see business, and you see cars. The normal, you want to take a boat ride. So it's just like that. Terminal is like that. We have them on your iOS and on your Android. So what you have to do is just arrange for delivery. You see different platforms, different delivery courier partners. You all know of DHL, FedEx, UPS. In Nigeria, you all know of Quick Delivery. You know of Fez. Fez is a new one, really. Fez Delivery. You have, Get Messenger, Daily Man. So we have all of them on our platform. Can you move to the next? Next, please. So, for that, please. So benefit of using Terminal. Faster delivery. You get it from door to door. You just have to download it on your app, your iOS, your Android. What you have to do is when you download, you want to ship something, you don't have to go to DHL. You don't have to go to FedEx. You don't have to go to Fairs. They can pick it from your house. What you have to do is just book whatever you have to do online. You have multiple couriers, like I said. You have DHL, you have FedEx, you have UPS, you have Aramex, you have Get Messenger, you have Quick Delivery. You also have Daily Man. So when you book the whatever you want to book, you just have to book it on your platform, and you have shipping labels on it, and it is insured. Basically, most times you get maybe you can't find your package again. Where's your package? You need to track your package online. Instead of calling DHL and you can just do it on your phone, on your laptop, on anything, basically your phone, your devices, to know where your package is on its way, package has been delivered. So we make that easier for you to access all courier services just in one. Then you have like different prices. You might have like DHL. DHL might have like 20,000. Maybe you want to ship to the UK. It has 0 to 2 kg. Maybe you have like 20K. You see DHL has 20K. You see FedEx has like 19K. You see Aramex has like 17K. So it's like you're having Bolt, Uber, and lag ride in one, and you're checking the prices, and you're just clicking on it. Okay, I want lag ride, I want Bolt, I want Uber. It's just like that for terminal as well. You can just have FedEx. You can just pick FedEx. You can just pick Ship to Nigeria. You can just pick DHL. Anything on your budget. So you just have to click on any one. And you see you have like a timeline, 3 to 5 working days. You have 2 to 5 working days. You have maybe within Lagos, you have 1 to 2 working days. So basically, it's just like that on the platform. It makes it easier for you to like ship. And you can also try it for free. So sign up at Terminal, www.terminal.africa, and email hello@terminal.africa, hello@terminal.africa. We have our phone number, and we're also in this building. So if you want to know more about Terminal, please, I'm sure the front desk is going to give you more inquiry, and you can also call us. Of course, that's the number there. There's no need for me to just give you these numbers. Location, of course, Eridan Space. So please, I expect you guys to download the app on your iOS, on your Android. If you want to send your package, please use Terminal and make the world a better place by doing that, please. Thank you.
Okay, please, let's give her a round of applause. Like I said, use Terminal so that we make the world a better place. So right now, what we are going to do, we are going to change seats again. Now, some new people came. Like I said, after every session, we are going to do that. So you meet new people. This auntie is already shaking her head that she will know me. I'll go and move her myself. Right? So just so that you meet new people, that's the essence of being here. Now you network, you talk to new people about your business and all those things. So in 2 minutes, just go ahead, stand up, change your seat. I've been eyeing somebody that I want to talk to. So this can, maybe you are doing that too. So this is your opportunity to just go ahead and talk to the person. Just in 2 minutes, just change your seat before we do the next thing. Come on, let's do that. Change your seat and speak to somebody new, somebody that you are just seeing for the first time, and just network. Right? Okay. So as we do that, we are going to the next session now, where we'll be having a panel session. Right? I hope we are meeting new people. I hope we are meeting new people. So we're going to the panel session right now, and I'm going to introduce the panelists and then the moderator. They'll be taking us further for the next few minutes, and then, you're going to have your mind blown this afternoon. So I will start with the first panelist. His name is Temitope Makinde. He's the CEO and Managing Director of GeoInfotech. I'll just rush through his profile. And he's an esteemed geographic information system technician and a skilled drone pilot with a dynamic background in land surveying and remote sensing, geospatial data analysis and web development, and so on and so forth. So please, just with a very big round of applause, welcome Temitope Makinde as he comes forward. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Right, and then the second person is Blessing Omotoyinbo. He's a graduate of mechanical engineering from the prestigious Ekiti State University. I'm from Ekiti State, so please, that's a very good one. He works as freelance designer with brands and individuals on various design projects, brand identity, logo design, UI design, and print arts. Please, he currently works full-time with Flutterwave as a product designer in the research and development department. So please give Blessing Omotoyinbo a round of applause. Yes. And next, I have Jedediah. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the last name, so I'll just stay with Jedediah. He's a dynamic software engineer with a passion for both technology and entrepreneurship, with a robust background in web development, including JavaScript, and so on and so forth. Jedediah has not only owned his technical skills, but also embraced a profound understanding of agile methodologies and remote collaboration. So please, with a very big round of applause, welcome Jedediah. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. And the last but not the least panelist is Chinozo Eke. This is a full-stack developer, and he has amassed over 7 years of comprehensive engineering experience. That's huge. During this time, he said he has been, or she, been involved in building, maintaining, and enhancing enterprise web applications and microservices, employing agile methodologies and following the CI/CD development life cycle. So please let us give Chinonso a really, really big round of applause, please. And then I'll be introducing the moderator. Her name is Taiwo Joseph. Taiwo Joseph is a product manager, an entrepreneur, an human capital capacity development strategist. She's the founder and CEO of Erilen, and Erilen is an edtech academy that specializes in assisting African youth in transitioning into tech careers. Erilen has a robust and active community members of techies who have successfully transitioned into tech and are matched for internship opportunities, and so on and so forth. Please, with a really big round of applause, let's welcome Joseph Taiwo. Let's welcome Joseph Taiwo now. Come on. I mean, like I said. So we are going to be having the panel session right now, and I promise you it's going to be an amazing time. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Okay, should I change my seat? I think I should. Okay. All right, thank you so much. So before we proceed to this panel session, I would like to bring up my co-moderator, the person of Dele. Please, can you welcome Dele? A round of applause for him, too. So he'll be telling you more about himself as we proceed with this session. So I saw how, just give me a few minutes to really talk about this. I saw how we were so reluctant about standing up, you know, exchanging our seat and all of that. So I have a question for you, and anyone who gets this question, if you are not interested in learning any tech skill, you can actually give your voucher to someone who is interested. I'm giving that person 100% voucher to learn any skill of your choice at Erilen Tech Academy, like it was mentioned during my introduction. All right, so thank you so much for the applause. Who can tell me how many steps you need to take per day? Okay, I think everybody knows it. All right, so I'm giving it to a lady and a, okay, a lady and a guy. So, all right, so the audience, they're actually going to judge that. So another person, an opportunity. Okay. One step. All right. Okay, let's have you. 10,000 steps. Does anybody, okay, yeah, there's a lady in green. Please. All right. So an extra question is, how many bottle or liters of water is healthy for you to take per day? Okay. Yeah, let's have it. 3 liters. All right. So, okay, I think I love this guy. I mean, that's amazing, right? That's awesome. All right. So, the first person that said 10,000 steps, yeah, she's actually very correct. But we are going to be very benevolent. Eridan Space is going to cover the rest. So I'm giving you 100% free scholarship to learn any tech skill of your choice. Can you just appreciate her? Yeah, she said it first. So the other people who said 10,000, you're getting a 50%. Are we not fair enough? Right. All right, please jam your hands together for them. So my emphasis on it is very crucial that we pay attention to our health. How many of you have taken like 5,000 steps today? So just see it as an extra way of, you know, living healthy. So sorry for taking your time, but I feel we need to actually stress on that. All right, so, Welcome once again to this panel session where we'll be taking you through the theme of today, right? I'll be asking a lot of questions because it has to be engaging so we don't get, bored, right? So I'm going to be asking from the audience, from that row, can you tell us the theme of this speaker series? Okay, the theme. Anybody? Wow. Oh, okay, let's have you. Okay. Thank you so much. I was already scared. Like, okay, so is it like we don't? All right. So at this point, I'm going to be giving it to Dele to, take us through the next phase of introducing our panelists.
All right. Thank you so much, Taiwo, for that wonderful session. I'm really, really happy about this panel session because people that are here, they will be sharing a lot of very, very vital information that will be really helpful to us, right? We have Mr. Chinonso with us, who is one of the head of engineering at Ren Money. We have
Please,
Jedediah.
let's jam our hands
Please, let's
together
clap
as a
for
call
them.
them.
We have Jedediah Amaribu. Can correct me if I didn't pronounce that properly. He's a full stack developer with remote base. Then we also have Blessing Omotoyinbo, who is a product designer at Flutterwave. And then we also have Temitope, who is the CEO of Geo Infotech. Please, let's clap for them. So I want us to start this way. All of them, they have their experiences, right? So I just want them to give us a background of themselves. Just tell us, how did you actually start your tech journey? What was that thing that pushed you to say, is tech I want to do? The truth is that when you ask some people, why did you delve into tech? You hear a lot of people, they will tell you that money, right? If I ask us here, how many of us, what's the purpose of many of us coming into tech? You see that 80% will tell us money, right? So I want to ask us, right, from our own background, what was that thing that pushed us to go into tech? And feel free to also say if it's money, So whatever it is, I'm going to start with Mr. Chinonso. So Mr. Chinonso, just give us a brief background about yourself and a brief introduction to, and what actually moved you to be in the tech space. What was that push that made you to be in the tech space?
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Chinonso Eke. I'm currently an engineering manager with Ren Money. So I work with the enterprise applications, so basically the applications that we use internally. So we help to, automate manual processes and make our business needs move faster, basically. So how I started? I started 7 years ago. So I started with a drive, an idea to create a platform similar to Fiverr, where you can have a creator and a client. So the clients have a job that they want, and the creator, be it a programmer, graphics designer, game developer, whatever it is, they can apply, have a conversation, and get together and meet up. So that was the drive that I wanted to create. But again, I started off with basically HTML, CSS. I even went to game development, went to mobile development with Ionic. I just wanted to, build something that helps people. So that was my drive, to build something that can impact people and, just make your life a little bit easier. So I built that actually, but, it didn't really, a lot of people didn't use it that much. So, but at least that started me off. So basically, how I learned was basically just YouTube. I just went to YouTube, looked up how to build a blog with Laravel or whatever software you want to learn. And that was how I started off. So from there, built up myself. I got a job with a real estate agency. So I also dabbled in graphics design. So you can say I was just everywhere, just trying to find my leg. So yeah, I started off as a graphics designer and IT manager, because I managed their website. But I mostly was a graphics guy there. Did a lot of animations, did a lot of posters. It was quite fun. Then after that, that's when I moved on to Ren Money as a front end. Then front end onto full stack to team lead to engineering manager. So basically, all in all, you just have to just ensure you're doing what you're doing, and you know what you're doing, and you're doing it well. So again, the drive is just try to help people and make things a bit easier.
Wow. Wow. Please, let's give him a round of applause. So I will allow Taiwo to take it off from there.
All right. So actually, I could sense some familiar spirit there. I don't mean for that word. I mean, there's a lot of familiarity when you are starting out in the tech space. How many of you here you've tried like 6 skills? You've tried learning like 6 skills altogether. Do I have a witness? I mean, you've tried graphic design. You've tried product. Come on now. Let's be real in this scene. You've tried graphic design. You've tried product management. You've tried what else again? JavaScript, Python. I mean, and you're just trying to find the one that anyone that is so hard, you drop it, go to another one. Please, just no, we are not, we are not arresting you here, right? So in essence, is on the verge of trying to acquire a skill or get started. There might be a lot of roadblocks and all of that. And from his experience, it didn't just stop, right? He was trying out new skills, to be able to finally stop at where he feels very comfortable. And from his story, we see that he was able to actually do something amazingly well. Can we give him a round of applause once again? You guys, you have to respond. I don't like the look on our face. We are too serious. Come on. Let's show some responses. All right, so we'll be giving the microphone to Mr. Jedediah. Please make it short, in 1 minute. A bit about yourself and what you're doing and why the drive.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Jedediah. I'm a software engineer with remote base. Okay. Yes. All right. So tech was a personal choice, and it was a war because my dad wanted me to do medicine. I actually gained admission into University of Nigeria to study dentistry. But after my first year, I changed departments. I went to electronic engineering. So how I started tech, 2 family friends, particularly one CEO of a networking firm, one CEO of a systems design firm. So they introduced me to MOOCs, like Udacity, Udemy, Coursera, and the rest of them. So I took my first course in web development. That's my specialty there on Udemy. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP at the time mostly was the language for back-end. But then I was still in school, so mostly I did freelancing while in school. After school, during the lockdown, mostly I was doing freelancing. So during the lockdown, I worked with this particular client. And after the lockdown, he was starting out a lifestyle app called Woozy. And he asked me to come join their team. So I worked with them 2021 March till July 2021, where I joined Go My Code. So Go My Code 2021 July, mostly as an instructor on their full stack JavaScript program. Then I did that for a while till Valentine's Day in 2022, where I joined Remote Base. And mostly I'm full stack, but mostly I do front-end stuff with React and Next.js. And yeah, so I've had also like prior experience with Andela, their mentorship program, and also their training program as well. Thank you.
All right. Can we give him a round of applause? Please jam your hands together. So, quick question. Remember, this is a panel session, right? And we don't just want to make it all talk. Okay, you have to engage. Okay, so who can tell me one skill it said it started with? And seriously, there's going to be gifts for anyone who's getting all these questions right. So, I need one person from that row, one person here, one person from here, and from the last row. The first skill he said it started with. Okay, now, yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, please, let's have you. Okay, is that correct? Is that correct? All right, jam your hands together for him. So I just wanted to be sure that we are all here. All right, so I'm going to be moving to Blessing. Blessing, please, in just a minute, tell us a bit about yourself and why you're doing what you're doing and what you're doing currently.
Hello, everyone. My name is Blessing, and I work as a designer for that in the research and development team. My background was pretty much similar to what he said. I studied mechanical engineering from Ekiti State University. I started this whole thing second year. That was like 8 years ago. So I had a laptop, I was playing around doing CorelDRAW and graphic design. Then I was just playing around. So most of the guys in engineering, they belong to, there was this Google community group in our school. So I followed my friends to the hub and I was learning stuff. So I dabbled much into a lot of stuff. Initially it was Android, that was what was draining at that time. So I was learning Android programming and I didn't have an Android phone then, so I was just learning. Then I did web design, HTML, CSS. I was just playing around. Then I was still doing design on the side. So I felt more comfortable doing design, then I just picked it up. Then I was getting more gigs as a student, as a designer. So I just continued along that path and that's how I started. Then I got my first job when I was in 400 level. So I came to Lagos from IT in this same building. I was the mechanical engineering intern at Oluwalogbon Motors. So I was basically washing cars and doing stuff, mechanic stuff. So I volunteered for one program, Facebook development, Facebook Discovery Challenge. And I was doing graphic design for the most part, but I just saw somebody post online that they needed a UI designer for a competition. I just went there and I did my first UI design using CorelDRAW and we pitched on our company. Our idea was like second. And I didn't know that my teammate was a startup founder. And after the program, he was like, come work for me. So that was how I started. I didn't even know anything about UI design. So along the line, I started taking stuff and just developing myself. After school, I served, then I did HNG internship. Then I got my first job with some companies, then I moved to Ontario. So currently now I just work in the research and development team where we build out new products. It's just like a lab. We just try out experimental products and I currently work as a designer there.
Amazing. Can we give him a round of applause? Are we really learning something? Please, I need response. You're too cold. Are we learning something? So we all saw how he took advantage of some events, just like this kind of event. So you've not wasted your time. There are opportunities. And of course, you have these guys to also, meet up with them, ask them questions if you want to know more. All right, so the final person on the panel here, the person of Mr. Tokwe, who happens to be a founder. We want to also know how he got started with his tech journey.
Good day, everyone. My name is Temi Tokwe Makinde. I'm the CEO and Managing Director of GeoInfotech Resources Limited and GeoInfotech Store. Okay, so to be honest, the journey of entrepreneurship is tough. Especially when you have responsibilities, you know the true life story. A lot of entrepreneurs, they always have a situation whereby the account is zero. That's when your mind is sharp. When all the account is down. When I mean accounts, bank accounts, you understand? So the journey started from, I studied geography. I had a background in geography. And it became a threat when I see a police officer tell me he did geography in school. So I'll be like, you end up one day, either as a geography, a police officer, or a teacher teaching in one public school. So, but the truth is that ever since I studied geography, I'm always on my system. I can stay on my system for like days, and I hardly eat. So I studied geography, so I did a project for my school. We did a modeling of our school. They were trying to develop a new building. So and when I see challenging stuff like that, I'm always very, very interested in it. So I went up to design exactly the way the school looks like and designed a new model of what will be featuring for that school. So the professor that saw it was really impressed. So he linked me up with his guys that are into all these stuff and projects like that. And my mom happened to be the professor in the school too. So the man always tells me that you're not supposed to be in Nigeria, you're not supposed to be in this, all this kind of thing. So, but I had so much passion in what I do then, and they tried linking me up with the geography, and they linked me up with something they call geography information technology. It now brings up a new idea of you not just trying to know what your environment is, rock, the roads, whatever features in your environment, but you are turning those features in your environment to data analysis. You can predict locations of where you will get customers, and it is certain. You can predict areas that will get flooded, and it's certain. Recently, we tried doing a project about this Obafemi Awolowo Way on areas that are going to get traffic data and stuff like that. So I went on, that was when I was finishing school. So after I did my BSc finish, I took a course in web design. I started with my phone, but the interface was looking so boring. When you're looking at your phone, looking at YouTube, looking at your phone to design a website. So I went to enroll for web design. And the web design was very, very interesting. I found it so very interesting, especially the back end and the front end. I kept on going like that. So I now linked the web design with geography. It synchronized. It was very, very interesting. The geography aspects and web design, whereby you have to, whatever coordinates, all this GPS stuff, you pick coordinates of your environment. It can be buildings. And one interesting part of it is, like, for example, if you are working in the telecom industry, you can pick geocode location of all the customers that are using MTN, and you know where they are situated. And if you geocode the location of all the masts, and each mast have a radius, for example, so you can easily tell areas that are having no network. And it gives you an idea of, okay, these are the next place we need to put our nest mast, stuff like that. So it goes round to precision agriculture, it goes down to hydrography, it goes down to a lot of industries. Even lawyers from UK, they call us to pick coordinates on PIESA. We pick coordinates like that, and it's very interesting, especially when you synchronize it with information technology. So when I came back from my service, I did a project for the professor that liked the project I did then, like that. So we did a project in LASU, about almost 12,000 buildings then in Fashola session. We encroached into LASU's land. All of them were fake lands. So you see all this money, they just sell fake lands to them. So I think it was Fashola or Ambo, they were ready to demolish all the 12,000 buildings, but it looks so crazy. How would you just demolish 12,000 buildings? So we had to survey around using drones. We surveyed around the whole building, and we had to develop a software. So I had to develop the software for them to be able to know all the location of all the buildings. Then each building, instead of demolishing them, you just pay rent. That's yearly rent. So if you are a landlord before, you are now a tenant. That kind of thing. So it actually makes sense instead of just demolishing all the 12,000 buildings. But they didn't give me the contract because I was still the errand boy then. So I had to go and do my master's. I had to, politics now, they'll give somebody that knows somebody that knows So I had to do my master's then. Doing my master's.
Yeah, you have a few minutes.
Yes. Doing my master's then, I had to learn a lot about the whole idea. And, when pressure came up, I started up my business. And I started designing stuff and doing some apps. And that's where I am today. Thank you very much.
Wow. Amazing. There's this popular saying that if you want to go far in life, you stand on the shoulder of what? Of who? Huh? I didn't get that. Are you not bored about it? Come on, speak out. You stand on the shoulder of who? Giants. So someone who has been there before. And today, we are bringing these giants in their industry to tell you, to avoid you of some mistakes you could have made. And in a nutshell, to summarize what they talked about, one of the things that was very consistent in all their story is learning. Do we agree with that? Am I speaking our minds? They learned. He went to do his master's. He went to learn HTML. He went to learn as well. After learning, exposure. All right? Are we taking notes? Exposure. You don't learn and just stay there. You learn and you do what? You go out. You show yourself. And I'm really excited. I'm happy that we have these guys to tell us their story so we can learn. Please jam your hands together. And I'm going to be handing over to Dele to take us to the next
Wonderful, really, really wonderful backgrounds. And I'm very sure that most of these experiences are really putting us in a place where we'll begin to think and we'll begin to ponder that, see, this is where I am, and this is where I should be, and this is what I should do, right? So it's really something that we need to start thinking about. So my next question will be to, this question is not going to be for everybody, I'm going to be asking Mr. Chinonso. So how do you think that most of us that are here, some of us are people already in tech or people that are transiting to tech. So what are some of the ways you think that you can be able to take advantage of emerging trends in technology and be able to find opportunities there? So what I mean is, okay, there are some emerging trends in the tech space, right? So how can people, whether you are already in tech or you are transiting to tech, how can these people that are here, how can we be able to spot these emerging trends and make them opportunities for themselves? Maybe in form of a business or a startup or anything.
For that, I'll say continuous learning. So you see an emerging tech or whatever it is that's currently in the market, what you need to do is go and learn it. That's the first thing. There are resources everywhere. Anywhere you go online, there are resources. ChatGPT is there that can answer so many questions. And the best thing about AI is one-on-one. You're getting that feedback directly. You're asking him, he's giving you. Not like Google that you search and you have to open a lot of articles directly. So there are so many resources online that you could just use to your advantage. So that's the best way to just go about it. So if you find that emerging tech, learn about it, find opportunities about it online. You can even watch videos online on YouTube to see people that are in those type of tech, how exactly they do their day-to-day. Because a lot of people like posting my daily life as a programmer, as a data scientist. See if it's something that you actually relate with before you dive into it. And then just pick it up from there. So just continuous learning, continuous researching, and you can get it up from there.
Okay, let's give him a round of applause. I think he has said a lot there. Continuous learning. I don't know if any of the other panel members would want to add something to it. The COO, would you want to add something to that so that they can also get one or two things from that?
Okay. The first thing, like you said, is knowledge. Gain as a lot of knowledge you can get for that stuff you want to get into. And engage yourself in projects. Get that experience. Acquire that experience. If you know, some people, they apply for intern, you'll be getting rejection and stuff like that. Just go into it. Just gain that experience in any way you can get it. Gain the experience and gain the knowledge. It's very important.
Thank you very much. Please, let's give them a round of applause now. Let's encourage them. At least they are here. And they are the ones talking to us. All right, can you take it up from there?
Thank you so much for that wonderful response. Because I was literally thinking, okay, so how exactly do you take advantage of, emerging trends in the tech space? And sincerely yours is just keep learning. And one of the things that kills faster in our generation, especially the generation of Gen Zs and millennials, is ignorance. People don't want to learn. The only thing they want to watch is Netflix. They want to stay on Instagram, and stay on YouTube. Even that YouTube that you can even use to better your life, you will still be wasting your data on ignorance. I mean, that's a lot of loss. All right? So keep learning, keep learning and ensure you are exposing yourself. So quick question to everyone here. I like to be engaged. All right? So how many of us are interested in becoming a techpreneur? You want to own your own business, but then you also want to leverage on technology. We're talking about transition to tech. How many of us, sincerely, in your heart of heart, I don't want to learn coding, but I want to have a business, and, I want to be able to, please, okay? So, okay, fantastic. I love the age group, and I have a specific reason why I'm asking that question. Okay, so you want to just work in a tech company, especially abroad, because that's where the money is, right? So you want to work in a tech company, and you're already working towards it. How many of us? So what happened to the rest? You don't want to be a techpreneur. You don't want to learn. You don't want to. What's going on? Are we in the wrong event? Seriously, let's respond. You want to work. You don't know if they have job now. Better raise up your hand now. These guys are working in. Imagine rent money is here. Come on, raise up your hand if you want to work in a tech company. All right. So, how I'm going to be asking a question now, and that question is for you if you want to be a techpreneur. And also, if you want to work in a tech company, you don't have the skill yet, but then it's always your desire, to have that skill. So I'm going to be directing the first question to Jedediah, and I need some support answer from Blessing as well. All right. So how exactly do you get started? I know we've talked about you learn, you go to events and all of that, but intentionally, like how, like step-by-step process, how exactly? You don't just want to jump into it. There's a process of how to get started. You want to be a techist, all right? Or you want to be, someone who, a tech bro, a tech sis. Like how exactly, like a very practical approach to getting started.
Okay. The truth of the matter is, like he said, there are materials online. There are materials everywhere for you to learn these tech skills, and even like if you are diligent enough, master them. But the truth of the matter again is that when you're learning by yourself, it's easy to get discouraged, because then it's easy to run into one bug or problem or issue, and then you are stuck there for like hours or days. Hours is small, maybe weeks even. Like even as I'm a software engineer, some reasonable years of experience, I still run. A couple of weeks ago, I had an issue with stuff I was working on. I had to reach out to a friend that's also an engineer to help out with that. So the first thing I would advise is community. Okay, so in as much as you want to learn and there are resources online, it's important that you have a community that you are learning with. And that's why I encourage schools like Go My Code. I encourage schools like Alt School. So there you have a group of people that you are learning with, and should you have or face any difficulty, you have people you can run to. So that's one. So community and mentor, that's the second part, mentor too as well. So have a mentor, someone that is definitely miles ahead of you. So even if your community cannot help you, your mentor will be able to help you. For tech skills, they are all online, yeah. But some skills, it depends on what you want to do. I can give you advice for web because I'm a web developer. So I can say if you want to do web, back-end or front-end, it will be good to start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so once you're done with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can now branch into, if it's back-end, you can now choose your back-end stack framework. If it's front-end, you choose your front-end framework. Also, if you want to be, it's not just, okay, so that's one thing I learned, like when I joined Remote Base. It's not just enough to build apps or websites that work, okay? It's not just enough to build apps or websites that work. Is your code, the quality of your code also is important. And that's where things like data structures and algorithms come into play. And to a very large extent, a lot of Nigerian companies do not take data structures and algorithms very seriously. And it's sad. But it's very important, especially if you want to get those foreign jobs that pay in dollars or pounds or whatever foreign currency. It's very important that you take data structures and algorithm into consideration. You must not be a guru. Data structure and algorithm will embarrass you any day, anytime. Do you understand? It's not something you learn in 1 day or 1 year or 2 years even. It's something you just keep practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing. And over time, you just discover, okay, at some point, I'm able to solve this algorithm that has this difficulty level. And yeah, so community, mentor, learn the skills. Actually, don't just browse through it. Watch maybe like 1 or 2 YouTube videos and then, oh, I'm a web developer. No. Actually learn these things. Why? First of all, learn why there's HTML, there's CSS, there's JavaScript. When you come to front-end frameworks, there's React, there's Vue, there's Angular. Why do all these technologies exist? Why does React, what is different with React that is not in Vue? What is in Vue that is not in Angular? Don't just learn how to use these things. Learn why they exist. Learn the the core ideas behind these things, I do React. I have no idea about Vue. You get? And if you ask me, I could tell you the core ideas behind React: component-based, one-way data management, all those things like that. It's very important to learn them. So community, mentor, learn the skills very well. Data structure and algorithm, very important as well. Any other thing else? Yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you. Please, a round of applause for him. These are things that you might not be told. Sincerely yours. Communities helps a lot. Don't be isolated. So we have just 10 minutes to round up this session. I'm going to take the second question quickly. So for some of us who, personally, I wasn't interested in working with a tech company. I just wanted to be a techpreneur. Like, I've always loved the idea of having my own business. But then I realized that then I need to have an understanding of technology, because today technology makes life easy. You could just sleep one day and wake up, and then before you know it, you just one app out there. And then by the time you try it, it's already helping you. I mean, it's making life easy for you. So for people here who they didn't learn tech when they were in school, but then they started realizing that, okay, if I want to be successful in my business, if I want to start a business that is sustainable, that is scalable, I need to adopt the knowledge of technology. So, Mr. Tokwe, this question is for you. So, please, in just 1 minute, how do you go about it? In just a minute, please. We are
1 minute to not be
okay, 2 minutes,
Okay.
please. 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you for that. The idea about tech is you can't just learn it on your own. You get? You can't just learn it on your own and say you are good at it and this and that. The best thing is you need to look for someone that can teach you all these things. Don't stay and say, yeah, you just look for a school, because I notice most people that like doing this online training, online learning of a thing, it's good too, but you need somebody that will be by your side too. You understand? It's just like what Eridan is doing now, this web design. If Eridan is not doing that web design, by now I would have started that web design. I'm telling you the truth. Because the truth is, no matter how, if you just get somebody to teach you. Because if you say you want to just start doing it one way, learning on YouTube, at some point, YouTube will not give you a process, a learning process. You get? But all these institutions that have this program, all these things, they've gone ahead of you, and they know the process. They know what will guide you to get there. You understand? So apply for all these things, get there, learn all these things, and it will help you to pay for it.
Okay, so thank you. So please jam your hands. And I think we have a percentage of the audience that is actually agreeing with him that YouTube does not cut it, right? So you already know. So there's Go My Code. You could enroll at the academy to learn the skills that you want. But emphasis on, I don't want to do coding. I just want to have the idea, because I want to start my own business, right? I want to have a tech business. So, like, in just a minute, how do you approach that?
It's like I said before, I have a background in geography. So even if you study accounting, doesn't matter. You can, even if you're a business admin, sociology, trust me, once you start with HTML and CSS, they're one of the simplest programming code you can ever understand. You see, when we do our training here in GIS, obviously, we train old people, and they learn it. How to fly drone, they learn it. Wow. So the truth is, HTML and CSS, you just apply for all this academy, and you definitely get it. But don't limit yourself with background if you study one course or the other. Trust me, you will flow. So far you have passion for it. Except I've seen a lot of people that go into it and they drop it. Don't be jack of all trade. For the fact that I've noticed that everybody's talking about web design. We've not talked about machine learning. We've not talked about all those other cybersecurity and data analysis, especially. Mm-hmm. Data analysis, data mining, data sourcing, and a lot of those stuff like that. So look for your own passion. Look for where you don't follow the trend. Look for what is in you that gives you that drive, that force. There's something that propels you to, there's something that you'll be doing. You will find it, that joy will be there. You can stay on it for long. But there are some things you will be doing that it looks so boring. You get? For me, let me give you just an idea. If my dad should call me now and start talking all these things, sometimes I'll just cut the call because some of those talk looks so boring to me. There's some discussion you see me in some group, you will not see me there again. I'll just leave because there's some discussion that looks so boring. But there's a place you find yourself, that kind of domain, that zone. It gives you more drive. And some things you'll be doing, you study yourself well. And the best thing is pray. Don't go and say analysis, data, intelligence.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Please, let's give him a round of applause. I want to quickly add to what he said. So we should not limit ourselves to just web development, right? Because the truth is that not everybody can do web. That's the truth. Not everybody can do product development. Not everybody can do cybersecurity. So just find your niche and stay there. There are some people that want to do full stack. When they get to JavaScript, or what is it again, they crash. That's the truth. There are some people, they don't understand how to make the look and feel of a product look. So what should they be doing in product design? You get? There are some people that cannot really explain some things. So just like that. So you should be able to find where you fit perfectly and stay there. So not because web is the major. To be frank, a lot of things are happening right now. There's AI, there's cybersecurity, there is digital marketing, right? There's a lot of them right now, right? And that is why schools like Go My Code, we have just positioned there to ensure that you come and learn these skills so that you don't limit yourself. You get? So find where you are and build in that aspect. So I needed to make that clear so that we don't just think we are just talking about coding today. No, it is all encompassing. Yeah, I will take it off from there.
All right, so they are already using ice to chase us away from here. I mean, there are a lot of things that we would have loved to talk about, and I want us to please jam our hands together for our panel. You know, they've been amazing. I mean, awesome conversations. And sincerely yours, you can't take everything here. Sincerely yours. You know, there's need for you to really go out there, make your research, and I'm sure you are available to answer questions after. Yeah, you just said yes. So
please, you guys have them. Like what you guys are seeing here now is resources. When I mean resources,
yeah.
So don't let them go without asking questions. So hold them by their trousers and their hair, so you can ask them questions. Because some of them work with very, very wonderful companies, like that you would like to work there as a tech person. You can ask them questions. So please take advantage of the network with them and also ask questions within yourself as we go. Yeah.
So please take advantage. We are going. Don't worry, we are going now. Take advantage of the resources that we've made available. Please and please don't be shy. All right. My journey into tech was just a gathering like this. I walk up to a lady and then that was it. Okay, so please reach out to them. You can get their email or any means of communication. Thank you so much, everyone. I would have loved to ask us questions, but I guess they will do that later. So please, a round of applause once again.
Please, let's give them a very big round of applause. Please, before you go, can you just come to this area so we can have a snapshot with you? Yeah, so while they are doing that, let me just share an experience I had. Last year, I was so obsessed. I wanted to do product management. Or more. I started this course online. I think I started with Udemy. Udemy. So this uncle that was taking the course, I could not do it. I mean, it was not giving anything that it was supposed to give for me. I mean, I registered for the course. I paid for it. I only attended one class. I could not go again. I knew that product management wasn't for me at the time. So like they said, just get that thing that is yours and stay with it. Now, we have just one more thing to do before we move forward today. And I think it's a really, really good one because for startups and for entrepreneurs, it is good. I think it is actually good that we know how to pitch our ideas, right? I was speaking with someone on Monday evening, and it was like, as he is right now, he can pitch like 3 things. I'm like, guy, calm down. I mean, we just met on the road and we're talking. So some of us, we really do not know how to do it, how to pitch, those $1 million ideas. And I mean, the ideas are good, but the way you are talking about it, you're not even sure about it yourself. So we are just going to be learning, mastering the art of pitching to investors, right? So even if you are pitching something that, when I was going to do my project in school then, they used to tell us that even if you are saying nonsense, say it confidently, right? With confidence, they will know that nonsense you are saying, you know what you are talking about. As in, the way you talk about your nonsense, they will know that you know about it. So I'm just going to read the profile of Tano. Yeah, I thought it was Tano. Well, Tano, and it's going to be speaking to us. Wow, this is massive, so I'm just going to skip. Okay, so it's coming right now. So please, let's give a big round of applause to Tano Atta. She's going to be taking us in the next 15 minutes on pitching, how to master pitching to investors. And I'm sure you're going to learn something. Thank you so much.
I can hear that some of you guys are complaining about 15 minutes. So I'll do my best to make it one of the most important 15 minutes of your life. Brief history. I'm a business developer. It means I've been doing business since I was 16. And I've only had 2 jobs. I worked with ExxonMobil and I worked with USC Foods. Outside of that, I've been doing business every day for the last 21 years. So, if you're clear on noticing, you would see that the room is much lighter than it was a few minutes ago, or an hour ago, or 1 hour, 30 minutes ago. And that's interesting because that's the first lesson you will learn in business. People will fail and they will fall. But if you stand, you will win. Now, I say it's the most important thing, and I'll introduce my session by telling you a story. When I was 23 years old, I had built quite a reputation of being the last guy you come to when everyone else fails. So if everyone was trying to do something, whatever it was, and they've struggled and they've hired consultants with MBAs. I've actually been in rooms with people with MBAs. I was the guy who they called when they failed. And I always delivered and I always succeeded. But something happened to me when I was 23. And I think I shared it with a few people at Eridan when I first came back into Lagos after almost 3 years away. And it's this. So I love coffee. I love coffee. I don't mind paying 2,000 naira for a cup of coffee if it's the right blend and if it tastes right and it's balanced right. So I went to, there was this client who was going to be the biggest client of my life at that time. He invited me to a very nice hotel in Victoria Island. I think it was 4 Points by Sheraton. They had just opened not long, at the time of the meeting. So I went there, and I was there early. I'm always early. I was there about 45 minutes. I mean, first impression counts, yes? So I was there 45 minutes early, and I was waiting in the lobby, waiting for the man, and then I smelled someone's coffee. But the coffee was in a different room. It was at the lounge area. So I'm like, look, I have to try that coffee. So I go try the coffee. It was 2,500 naira, I believe then. And the coffee was good, but then I was 2 minutes late to my meeting. Yeah. So I enjoyed that coffee, and by the time I walked, I had been sitting on that chair for 45 minutes. But then I just got up about 10 minutes to about 3 o'clock. By the time I got back there, it was 3:02. I've never forgotten this in my life. And he said to me, sit down, son. Called me son. And he said, your profile is good. You came highly recommended, but I'm not going to give you this job. I would have given you 20 million naira. You won't need to pitch me. Now, this is 20 million naira. I was 23. So to give you an idea, I started making money early. I used to promote in clubs. So my first income, my first profit was 300,000 naira in 2001. Yeah, so I wasn't a stranger to money. But that deal, I'd never done anything that big in my life. And I was watching it slip away. So we have a 3-hour conversation. We just talk about life. And I'm wondering, is this man going to change his mind? He never did. He didn't invest. That was the last time I ever saw him. But I've never forgotten that lesson. Now, what did it teach me? Before I tell you what it taught me, I'll tell you something else. Never listen to anyone. This is my opinion, I should say. But my opinion is this. Never listen to anyone who has never done what you're trying to do. Never. I've been married for 9 years, and I have, in my opinion, one of the best marriages in the world. One of the best. And I've never been to counseling because I don't need it. And most of the counselors, I should add, have troubled marriages because marriage is difficult, right? So, back to business. Why would I listen to someone talking about investment if they haven't raised any money? It's the same thing with learning on the internet. You learn online a lot of things, but there's only so much they can teach you. I've been building pitch decks for years, but the pitch deck in the startup industry is completely different. Completely. And I've had people teach me over the last 2 years. So I do have a startup. And my startup was accepted into an accelerator program. It's still there. I've made a lot of friends, investors locally. So now to the business of the day. First thing I said was never listen to anyone who hasn't done what you want to do. So I'll ask, and this is not an answer you can give me, but it's an answer you should know for yourself. Why are you here? Why did you come? Throughout today, I sat down, I came early. I sat down, I engaged all through as much as I could because I respect process. That's why I'm here. I respect process. So it doesn't matter if I'm having a headache, which I was having because I had a long night. I had to move 4 meetings to attend this engagement completely. I could have come in where they gave me a session, done it, and left. But I stayed because Eridan space is important to me. It's a good place. It's a solid place, and it can be an anchor for you as well. So I ask you again, why are you here? A lot of people were using their phones. A lot of people were doing works they could do at home. I'll ask a second question. Why did you come? If something you could do at home you chose to do here, then you shouldn't have come. Because I listened to all the speakers in all the sessions, except when I went to get Coke because of my headache. And I learned quite a lot of things. And I can tell you straight up, if you listened, you probably wouldn't need my session. And that's the truth. If you just paid attention. So what's this going back to? This is going back to the importance of time. So tip number 1, never waste an investor's time. Forget about money. Believe it or not, money is not important to an investor. It's the truth. If they didn't have money to invest, they wouldn't be talking to you. So they can play with that money. So what is important to an investor? Tip number 2, an investor has an investor in the startup space. And you're playing a game. Business is a game. It's a long-term game. I'm playing a game. I've made millions in my time. I've never bought a car. Never. I give off a lot of money. In fact, I have a joke. Every day, I could have income that came in last night, but before the day is done, I've almost spent it all. Every day. Do you know what that does for me? It keeps me hungry. It keeps me broke. Don't get me wrong, I have money, but I have money in other forms. I have money in assets. I have land, I have securities, so be wise. So tip number 1, never waste an investor's time. 2, never waste your own time. You're more important than you realize. If you're building a good business, then you're going to make that investor money, and you should know it. If you don't know it, you walk into that room on your knees, and nobody likes anybody on their knees. Nobody marries a prostitute. Sorry for the reference, but it's the truth. I love, respect, and honor my wife because she is the most valuable woman I've ever met. And if you are the most valuable businessman or woman that an investor knows, but how will they know? So you get a 2-minute meeting or a 3-minute meeting with an investor. What do? Tip number 3, never go when you're not ready. Never. Because you may never, like me, get that chance again. Those are 3 very important points that I'm also practicing. So I have some money, but I need some more. See, I want to do a lot of good in this world. And to do good, you need to be somebody that has a lot of money. So I have networks. Yeah, it's growing every day all over the world now. People who are raising billions in dollars, people who are investors. But I've never asked them for a thing. Not one day. I have a startup I'm building. We're trying to raise funds for that startup. I have another business that's giving out money every time I can to small business holders. But I've never brought it up in conversation. Instead, I do things for them all the time. Do you know what that does? Tip number 4, be a person of value. Because if they're thinking, I need someone who can help me do something, if they think of you, you already have an investment. It'll just mature in time. And I know this now more than I did before because I'm also a farmer. I started farming actively. And trust me, the day you grow your own food, your perspective on life will change. So I hope that you heard those points very well. Because if you do it right and you do the work, then you'll meet an investor. Which brings me to tip number 5. How will you meet an investor? It's very simple. Number 1, you come to Eridan. I know it doesn't make sense, but you come to a place like Eridan because you don't know who this guy is, you don't know who that guy is, you don't know who this person is. Community is how you raise money. People only invest in people they know, people they trust, or people that can deliver them value. It's that simple. But is it simple? No, it's a lot of work, but it actually is that simple. If you show up to a place like Eridan Space and you provide value, then people will come to that value. And when it's time to deliver, they'll point to you. Now, I'm not just referencing just Eridan Space alone. I'm talking about the network that is the venture capital space, the incubators, the accelerator programs, the trainings, the Go My Code community, anything that operates in your zone, you should be there. So I have about 2 minutes left. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. None? None. Okay, all right, there's one question.
Just a question. In terms of raising funds for business, I run a business for some time now, but sometimes I think of raising funds from just maybe persons that can put in maybe 200,000 into my business, it's education based, and then I give them a return, or trying to source funds from venture capitalists or angel investors. But a lot of times I'm a bit laid back because I consider if trying to scale the business or trying to make it big grow, if it's going to work or not. Because sometimes, like last year, I put in my own personal money into my business, to a project, about 500,000 naira only, and there was no returns. There were a couple of mistakes, market factors that just didn't make it work out. Now, so if that was an investor's fund, I may need to pay back or whatever. So sometimes I look at it, okay, my question is, do I have to be very sure that's going to work, or how do I mitigate the possibility of the business not working out?
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to acknowledge, technically he has used my last 2 minutes, so technically I still have 2 minutes to answer this question, right? All right. I'm glad he asked this question. So you should ask yourself one question. Are you building an SME or are you building a startup? First question. If you're building an SME, that's a small business. It's a different business model and a different pitch that you're talking to an investor on. If you're building a startup, that's something else entirely different. So clarify with yourself, first of all, what are you building? Now, the second thing is, if you can't do it with 5,000 naira, you probably will not be able to do it with 5 billion naira. And take that to the bank and take it home. I promise you. So I'm just going to be diligent with my time. They've been very gracious with me. I hope you have had a good time and I didn't waste your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please give him a very, very big round of applause. Okay, so we are putting everything to a close now. So I want to ask 2 questions. And with anybody that gets the questions right, I have a gift for you from Go My Code, right? From Go My Code. So this question, well, there are some people that so don't just give the answer randomly. Just raise your hand and I'll call you. Give the answer. So the first question is, what is my name? Don't ask. I will pick you random. I said my name like 800 times today. And if you get it, Go My Code. Dele, I want to ask somebody a question now. Okay, so, yes, ma'am. Oh. Is that, I've been saying my name is Tunde since the beginning of this show. Okay, so I asked a question about my name and she got, please give her a round of applause. So my name is Femi and it has been a really good time personally for me. Did you snap that? You snap the exchange of the gift. Should we collect it back so that you can snap it? Please collect the gift so that we can snap it. Please. Okay. Thank you. Now, I have another question. The last speaker that just spoke. No. I'm not going to. People are already planning to answer that question. I'm not going to ask that. No, I'm not going to ask. Okay, let me look for another question to ask. What is the name of the first keynote speaker for people that came early? The first speaker that spoke. A name. Oh, yeah. Okay, Egbe, is that correct? Yes, please give her a round of applause and a gift. Thank you so much. I have another question. And then for this third question, you did not snap it. Please, you did not get it. Let's do it again. This second question, I'm not going to be giving you a shirt. I'll be giving you a table water. Okay, so I have another company that they are going to ask us some questions with gifts. And I'm going to sit down here and answer questions. Because when this Go My Code told me that there's question with gift, I asked, can I answer the question so I can carry the gift? They said no. But this one, I will not be answering the question. I will not be asking the questions. I will try and answer. So please, can she come forward from Easy? Okay. Easy Money. Easy Market. Yes. Okay, so now, is there any feedback? How many of us were around for last month's series? You were around for last month's series. Okay, is there any feedback from there? Anything you learned that you want to share with us? I mean, I should have even done that at the beginning of this event. I mean, I was here last month, and it was really, really explosive. I learned a lot. And is there anybody that would be willing to... Is Easy Market ready? No, they're not. Okay. Now, let me try. At the beginning of this of this event, so we did Never Have I Ever. So I'm going to try it again, right? While we... Okay. All right. Well, I already talked about Never Have I Ever. Okay, I will do it later. So, okay, I want to invite Joe Infotech again. Slide the one to us in a really, really brief minute. For like 2 minutes, you want to show us a slide. Daniel, is slide ready? Okay, so I'm going to, it's already there. I'm going to invite Joe Infotech for the next 2 minutes. They're just going to tell us about their services again with their slides so that we'll be able to get what they're actually talking about. Please, with a big round of applause, let us welcome Geo Infotech.